That being said, I don't assume anything for trying to figure out how long you guys will take to do something, because you guys have proven me wrong many times. Time and time again. And welcome back. We all here?
I believe so. Where is the crash recording server?
Tannin, you there?
Nope, they dead.
She's dead. Oh, there she goes. She says here.
She said she was eating, muted.
Ah, I see. Alright, well then we can just start. I know it's only been literally like less than 48 hours, but what happened last time?
So we talked to the guy
Good start.
and sent and agreed to his mission. Chenmere traded Kara's powers for hers, and then Kara's immediately left.
What they want.
Which is their right. They can
Which
do that.
you knew beforehand I would do.
I figured. But yeah, and then after that, we all kind of took off. Nella took.
Did you get their idea of what they think?
Hey? Oh.
Can't tell if he's talking to us or someone else.
No, I'm talking to you guys.
No, not you. Oh.
Oh. Anyway.
Continue.
Yes. So Nevi was having a massive emotional breakdown and was somewhat comforted by Owen.
Yeah, that's what I
Kind
figured.
No.
Yeah, obviously.
And so Anella took her place.
Okay.
Because of, I guess she was being nice. There's reasons. We all took off
Nice,
after
yeah.
Aldrich decided to get back together right away. Yay.
Yes. That was quite expedient.
That little moment in the hallway was fucking amazing. Anyways.
Not what I had planned, but
Relationship off.
I played it into the moment. So, there you go.
It worked perfectly.
It worked very well.
Yeah. Then we headed west and found the outpost and discovered that it was basically untouched. Like, it was weird because like none of the traps were set off or anything. It's like, what the fuck? Oh, also we found a crazy clown person that almost killed someone in our group. It was hilarious.
Someday you guys will learn Tala's name. I hope it's someday soon.
I knew it, but I just didn't.
Yeah.
It is written in my thing. It is Tala the gnome. Anyways, after that we went into the place and found a well-decorated room of corpses and a dark magic crystal thing with wispiness.
It's not a crystal, it's just a wisp.
Yeah, that's about it. Sorry.
It's like a fluffy little thing of energy.
When you say fluffy, it makes it far less intimidating.
Yeah, because you know it's like wispy, so it's like the hairs of like a fluffy object, just sort of.
Anyways, so we threw a spear at it, we threw a rock at it, we threw a person at it, and after we threw a person at it, a shadow man? Yeah, I'll just say shadow man, appeared and assaulted Seema. I think it was more verbal assault.
Define it however you wish. I don't have any input on that.
Then after taking care of that, Jenmer's like, hey, we should go save Pico. Aldrich's like, why the fuck should we do that? And it's like,
And now it was in agreement. So was Tala.
You
most of the group honestly didn't want to go after them. It's like, we fucking sent them to
But two of you are good people, so you know, props to you for having morals.
Yay.
I would have been 100% cool with her dying in the first session. Just like, bye, Pico.
You would have been dead. You would have just been a bit north. We would have bumped into eventually, maybe.
We didn't know that.
Yeah, fair.
Well, the thing is, you would have been there for as long as the light spell was there. You would have been stuck in the void for an hour.
What letters did you learn?
The cascading consequences of a single pebble.
And then we all jumped in the portal and talked to Star. That is not the right word.
Talk to the Stardust Wayshaper.
Oh, that is the right word. Okay. Stardust Wayshaper, thank you. He's just like, hey, dumbasses, turn off the lights. It's like, oh, okay, sure.
Partnership in compromise. Worry.
How do we keep disappointing Fell Gods? Anyways,
He's like, I regret this already.
mhm,
You know, it's kind of what
Not
happens
even
when you
been a
skip the
whole
recon process.
yeah.
The whole
Yeah.
step there.
Anyways,
Yeah.
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 Then we appeared at the other ends. Chenmir made it to thank Nella for a favor of information and assistance. And then we're
Well, she just said assistance.
Oh,
She just said
yeah.
assistance.
Yeah, fair.
Which might be ringing through your head, Shadowmere. God, that's vague.
Just like,
Yeah.
that could be pretty much anything.
Indeed.
Now you're asking for prostitution.
Yeah. Anyways, at the end of that, we just decided to check out wherever the hell we are, which is actually the northern base, and that's where
Yep.
we left off.
You guys are. Well, you don't know that yet. It would be a fair assumption, I would think. But
Yeah. I mean,
you guys are underground. It's dark outside of whatever lighted implements you guys have. So, Marshall's sword. You could relight the torch that you lit back in the void, and the light spell was discasted, decasted, dispelled. I don't
Uncasted.
fucking know. Yeah, whatever.
Turned off.
It no there any longer. So, yeah.
I believe Anila said material plane north of where we were.
Yes.
Yes.
And a little bit higher elevation.
It's really not repeating. Okay, fine. So yeah. So you guys are all standing in a pitch dark room painted red, crimson, sanguine. There's the body whose heart you stole. Well, you assume it's its heart. There's a hole where its heart is, and it was holding the heart, so it's heart of gold.
I'm nothing if not a thief with a heart of gold.
Oh my god, I just gave you like the ultimate pun material. Oh my fucking god.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, it explodes in your bag.
Actually, Danaway's holding it now, so it explodes.
Shit.
It kills Danaway.
Well, yeah, so.
Anyways.
But yeah, again, well, let's establish light first. What light is active?
Mine is.
Marshall's. Oh, yeah, it has blade unsheathed and it glows like like Stinger. Oh, okay, that works too.
I'll cast light on Chedamir's weapon.
Your sword.
Oh, can I have my ribbon back?
Pico asked you. Oh.
Yeah, sure.
I think you guys just grabbed everything that was yours originally and just jumped in with it.
Pretty
So.
much. There's still that rope that's like. Nailed
Yeah,
down.
the pitted rope. Yeah. But other than that, everything else is yours. I will say right now, because there is a how to describe this. There's an obvious investigative sense to what you're doing. NPCs will not interact with you unless you ask them. So questions you have for Noah, she will not just pick up upon. She'll definitely notice them, but she's Anella, so she won't fucking help you unless you ask. Yeah. Stuff like that. So anything that related to NPCs is upon you to interact to them. If I use them to interact with you, then that's just me trying to expedite things.
Yeah, thank you.
The first thing Aldrich would do...
But I will say one last thing. Sorry, Fred.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I will also purposely use them to mislead you.
Oh, dick move.
Well, not purposely mislead you, but purposely use them to make you think I'm expediting things. So not all the times they do it will be me trying to expedite things. I will try to mix it in.
I do not.
So you'll never know.
Dick move.
You'll never know if I'm, expediting things in a good or bad direction, or if I'm expediting things at all. Maybe I'm just making the characters live as they should be. So my bad, Fred. Please go on.
Not at all. All right, so I'd look over to Seema and I'd ask her, Seema, are you good? You all right?
as I have a mouthful of food. Seema just took a bite out of some of her rations that were in her bag.
You're like Marshall. Just having like a snack ready.
A snack.
We could be here for a while, guys. I was just getting ready.
No, I'm ready to keep going on. It was something that was inevitable.
Whatever you need, just say the word.
I'm nodding.
I guess the parameters of the job has changed, but the job remains the same, so I suggest we get to it.
All the more
Marshall,
reason to
can
get it done well and get it done fast.
And hopefully piss some people off in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall, can I entrust the portal to you?
I do not understand you.
I didn't hear what he said, but I'm assuming it was an affirmative.
The way I see it, we have a choice. The first thing we should do is secure the perimeter, and to do that, we need someone to keep an eye on this thing.
Such a Marshall statement.
Make sure something doesn't jump through the hole.
You see the glowing thing. If anything that's not us comes out of it, whack it really hard.
See, that was crazy.
We're gonna be.
Isn't it dangerous to leave him here alone?
Closure sent out to us.
Only for the people who
He's
come
waiting
through
to
the
get
portal.
sent. I have to.
Yeah, I mean, look at this guy.
Tala pitches in. If it looks bad, I'll try finding you guys.
Fair.
Excellent. So, fan out, stay together, secure the perimeter, see where we are, figure out where we are. Once we know that, we could figure out what to do next.
We're definitely underground or overground, one of the two.
Yeah.
I guess.
There's two options, and we're definitely one of those. Let's keep going.
I mean, we're not just on the ground because there's tunnels going up and there's tunnels going down.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? 2 teams, fan out,
Building
reconvene.
a party, that's always fun.
You're welcome to disagree if you don't like it.
I think
If
that
even-
there's too many unknown elements here for it to be safe for us to be split apart like that.
All right. We have another choice. We could shut this down, whatever it is. That way we don't have to worry about what's behind us and then go room by room. But I would like to know where we are before we do that.
I think that whatever made this portal could, if we close it, could just make another one to come through again. I don't know if guarding it is something that is necessary, because it might kind of be, I guess, moot.
All right. Have someone keep an eye on our ear then. I still think that either shutting it down or keeping an eye on it is a viable option.
I could dispel magic.
Besides us.
Multiple people talk during
I was
that.
about to say, I'm sorry, I spoke over you.
Yeah.
I'm just. Who would be stupid enough to jump to the portal besides us?
Good point. He makes a strong argument.
So, How are you guys doing this?
Let's just go outside and see if it's going up or down.
There are two things I would like to know: where we are and whether this thing leads back to where we were. And also, if we're alone, that makes 3. I'm sorry. And there's 3 things I want to know.
I mean,
Once we know that, we can start cleaning. Ugh.
All right. If I'm not back, assume I'm dead, and I jump into the portal.
You hear Aldrich sigh.
Well, at least we know it's safe.
Figure you're back at the original post.
Okay.
Dimly lit just by the 2 doors. It's still only approximately like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Yeah. I jump back in.
Back you are. There is, I will say, in these moments of transit, there are moments where you do feel that previous sense of nothingness.
Yeah.
Like, obviously you didn't stay there, but you do feel it for a couple seconds.
To be clear,
Yes.
you jumped out of the portal. You're supposed to go to guard.
Ah, beans.
Oh my god.
I just want to make sure that is what happened.
That, I mean, you saw them go in.
I'm just gonna do this.
And I did say anything that
Okay.
isn't us. So, you know,
Yeah,
up to
he didn't say
interpretation.
us, so
I'm gonna say,
he rolling his intelligence.
yeah, just because like to see if Chenmue would figure that out in time and be like, oh shit, they're gonna attack me.
Oh
Okay.
shit, Marshall.
And just be like, no, don't do that. Whoop.
You can see that Talon realized this too, but she doesn't say anything.
I mean, you know, makes sense.
I come back out and I'm just like, all right, it works.
Like a waiting halberd there.
Chemue's just like, no, don't kill. Not this one.
Did I miss something?
You came out of the portal. We said to attack things that come out of the portal. Besides us.
I'm not a thing.
Yeah, no.
Where did it lead?
Back to the other thing.
Okay, so
Interesting. Good to know.
This is me using DM Fiat to expedite things. Those of you trained in Arcana, roll Arcana,
I'm definitely.
if any of you are. If you believe your character has thought of teleportation magics in the past and investigate it as such, roll Arcana as well.
Can I roll a
Nope.
disadvantage? Cause kinda. I made some.
Yeah, alright, fine, yeah. And before 2 nat 20s. Laugh
Nope.
my ass off. No, no.
No, that makes sense though.
Yeah. Aldrich, as far as you can tell, the teleportation methodology this is, it's different from what you would have studied in the past. There are different styles of teleportation. Obviously, you're a bit familiar with short-term, like the short-range teleportation. That's expedient. Stuff like that. But you are also aware that teleportation circles and things like that require, like, how to say, keys, like runes that, you know, sort of give coordinates.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it's like anything like that is nowhere present here. So this is obviously something a bit different. That being said, if there are, you know, points, multiple points, there is, I'd say 90% of the time, unless it was made shittily or hastily or whatever, a way to change which point it goes to. I won't, like, this is out of your, this particular example, this case study is a bit different out of your realm of knowledge. But that being said, it should follow similar lines of logic.
With that
As
in
for what
mind,
changes it, that's you don't know.
so with that in mind, Aldrich would make the assumption that this is a A-B portal between A and B, two-way, that it could potentially be changed, but it seems to have been left with that configuration.
That's up to you to assume. That's a fair assumption.
Sounds fair.
They just stare blankly at it.
Stare blankly at the portal. Well, it's a wisp, but you know what I mean.
It's a tunnel
What does
between
it
two
smell
people.
like?
You can walk through the tunnel to get to the other one.
What
Basically,
does it smell like?
it's. Imagine the stereotypical sci-fi movie where they're trying to explain wormholes, and they take a piece of paper, fold it in half, and put a pencil through it. Yeah, it's like that. Okay, it's wormholes in sci-fi movies, just but this.
The switching topics, the floors, the
Such a
flooring and the
stereotype.
walls, is it stone or wood or dirt?
Stone. Not like it's like properly how to say handled stone. So it's not like
Not a cave.
it's not a cave. Yeah, it looks built rather than carved.
And it's not drenched in blood like the other one.
No, this is still just as drenched in blood. Don't worry.
Okay, cool. Good. Just wanna clarify.
I told you earlier the room is painted red.
Forgot about that.
Can we assume that the Constitution saving throws from earlier are still applying in like Steven and Paula are basically the only people who are studying?
If you failed last time, make another one. If you succeeded last time, you don't have to roll again. I think only one of you succeeded this. I think it was
Yeah.
only Seema.
Yeah, I'm doing the PC.
Aldrich succeeds. Holy shit, Marshall! That's the roll you need. Okay, so yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna blame the
yeah.
She doesn't like
The
portals.
newness of it wears off. Blood is blood.
Right. Do we get
It's not
advantage?
the sense of blood that triggers you. It's the smell of death and decay.
I think it makes sense that as a healer, that also that's something that Seema is like, yep.
Would I get advantage because I've been in this room for so long?
I wouldn't say so. No. Well, you would have disadvantage for your aspects, but you would have advantage. So therefore, it would just be a straight roll.
Okay.
So yeah. Basically, you two don't change your RP. That's not really much of a command, but
Well, who is doing the whole double thing? Because it's horrible.
Hmm?
The echo. Crash is echoing.
Echo.
I don't hear. Oh, you probably, Dragana, go and check roll20 to make sure that you aren't doing what someone was doing the other day.
Yeah.
I'm on my phone.
Oh,
What?
I don't hear an echo.
Weird. Okay.
And
Gone
my
now.
headphones are plugged in, so it's not me.
How many exits or doors in this room leading out of
just one.
So shall we?
it? Makes it simple. Shadowmere, do you feel
Easy
comfortable
place to guard,
going?
too.
Yeah, sure. I'll take point.
Marshall, will you flank Shadowmere?
Okay.
I'll take
I
up
will
the
go
rear and
first.
I'll keep eyes backwards.
Gotta ask. What's the marching order then?
We just said no.
Well, you
Aldrich?
establish who's in front, who's in back. I'm talking about the middle.
Aldrich Dano in the back.
I'm saying she wants to be in the middle.
It's the ones in the middle that matter, I would say.
I'm assuming Seema is either in front of us or behind us.
I am, in fact, somewhere there, yes.
You
I
are
just
on
pulled my-
top of a shoddy wooden tower. From the looks of
Yep,
this.
I'm standing up there.
Speaking of which,
I pulled that out so we could say the
Facts.
order. Like, I'm a visual person,
Of
so.
course. Yeah, you do well in the way regard.
Don't worry.
But
So I know Marshall and Chedmere are up front. Yeah, Anela and Tala's
Marshall won't
locations
be
are
hanging.
there for you to place.
I'm number 3.
Alright, so Pico's trailing up behind.
makes sense.
This is a the door itself is a one person wide, but the path of these on is 2 people wide. Just so you know. So yeah,
Aldrich is so much larger than the rest of us.
double Aldrich. He sits on the other tower.
I
Jesus.
don't know how to make it smaller.
Here, maybe I could force it.
Yeah, I don't think you got the ability to set dimensions.
There.
My thanks.
Little.
Are you able to move it?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So, where do you want Tala and Ella to be at then?
How many ranks do we have?
They could just chill in
1,
direct
2,
middle.
3, 4. Yeah, I would say third.
Third position for Tala.
I am
Yeah.
third. Jesus Christ, does nobody
So-
hear me?
It's
We
too
have to do
wide.
now.
It's too wide, so there could be 2 people in the third rank.
Tala wants to stand next to me.
Yeah, we're changing
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
Thank
she'll
you.
go where she has to go. Her
Yeah.
pride is not getting in the way of her competence.
Keep your enemies closer.
That's it.
It's the safest rank, 3.
Okay. And we'll say Anoa is next to Seema in second.
Yeah, sure.
Sounds good. And that was my buddy.
Acquaintance.
She gives you a peculiar look. Hello. Alright, so you guys might remember from last session, but you open up the door and it leads to darkness, a dirt with some stone bits here and there, cave that leads up and down in a gradual slope.
They're really long, though. I tried walking one, and it was very long. I turned around.
Well, let's see how long it is.
Well, which way do you go? Up or down?
Oh,
Up.
The big question.
yeah, let's go up, because I have to get into this place. Most likely that's where the entrance is.
Let's say went up.
Well,
Yeah.
get a higher viewpoint.
Also looking for traps.
Clever.
I know there's no traps in the first, 10 minutes, because that's where I walked.
This is true.
I also have I have limited spells, of course, but I do have fine traps if we end up being in a sketchy place where we're concerned about it.
We're not
Up to you guys.
concerned right now. Save
At this point, I would feel
You say you do it now or whenever.
I would
You
feel
just can't
comfortable.
say, I do find traps when you see someone roll a nat 1 for investigation.
Oh yeah, no. I don't know if I'm suspicious enough yet to I guess I could do a perception check to see if it seems super sketchy enough that it warrants it. I don't know. That sounds
Like I said, I would tell you.
Seema, if you're feeling paranoid, we can take 10 minutes and you can do your mojo.
I don't think that one's not a ritual.
Oh, okay. I assumed it was.
No, that's only detect magic.
Everything's a ritual.
Everything's a ritual if you try hard enough.
Waste
You
of
just
years.
pray hard enough.
Or you can just look yourself. So, no then for the spell.
I'm gonna say no for now. Because I gotta conserve those spell slots.
Alright, you guys begin heading up. Those of you in the front row, keep an eye out for traps. Roll investigation.
Not bad.
I'm gonna just be honest.
Day before Marshall rolls a nat 20, it becomes a 19.
No. I
Yeah,
am
no,
very
this-
distracted.
You're not in the front row, though, is the thing.
I am third. It's almost front.
That's like
There's first, second, third, and fourth, so you're in the back 50%.
Yeah, there's
So
two
therefore,
people
no.
in position 1, 2 people in position 2, and 2 people in position
No,
3,
but
and
I
2
am
in
in-
position 4.
No, but I am not in the third row. I'm the third position. So if Chedamir's 1 and he is 2,
Too
I'm
wide.
3.
2 wide, so there's one up front, row 1. Behind that is row 2. Seema and Anoa, as I've described. Can't say position 3 when I'm talking about rows, and not for me not assume you're in row 3. Regardless, you rolled a 9, so it doesn't. Would Marshall like to investigate, or does he not care?
I'm real, even if he was checking, he wouldn't know to look for, so.
That's fair. I mean, it's up to you. Maybe you might stumble upon something very obvious. I don't know.
I mean, I guess he would have his staff out, like poking it on the ground. Logs,
Like a walking stick style.
yeah, that would. Yeah, sure.
Ah, yes, old school D&D.
Wow.
You rolled better than you.
Okay, well, I'll just eat a bag of dicks.
Blind squirrels and acorns.
You rolled better than you. That's hilarious. I can tell you that you don't find any traps, luckily. That being said, you do find footprints.
Mine?
Well, yes, yours, but others as well.
Are they, like, running away from here, or are they just casually walking around? Are they barefoot?
There are multiple sets. Some are walking casually up, multiple pairs, but there is one that is going down in a hurried manner.
Are they all wearing...
Is the Sirius still covered in blood as well?
I'm sorry?
Is
Got
the Sirius still covered in blood as well?
No.
I'd point that out, and...
This place is dry,
Right.
like a Kentucky county.
I'd point that out and be like, should we just go back?
If
Makes
I
it
lick
easy
the
to
sand,
clean.
does it taste like magic was in there?
Well, it's dirt, not sand, but no.
It's really gross.
Nah.
Earth. So let's just continue upwards, see if there's anything. How will do the tracks look, real quick?
Roll me your survival.
It's probably not the easiest thing to find.
Yeah, you don't know. They're definitely old, like older than today, but other than that, you can't really put a approximation.
Here comes classic Chedamir.
Look.
Oh, hi, Source.
He came back from
How
home
is
just to
that?
drag me.
Sounds like him.
You hear an echo from the bottoms, the way that leads down.
Imp shows up, taps on the shoulder, just want to know you still. Poof.
Oh, champion.
That'd be the best. Anyways.
But yeah, you don't know. It's at least a day or two old, at least, but past that, it's not like water or wind or anything runs through here, so nothing has really eroded them to the point which you can like figure it out.
Yeah. Makes sense. Let's just keep going up and check out the entrance first. And then we can go back down.
If you wish.
Yeah.
So, you guys have been making your way up, slowly but surely, keeping an eye out for traps. Keeping tabs on the tracks that you found. And over time, you do eventually feel wind. A gentle breeze at first. And you keep going, and soon enough, you're seeing light from around stretches and corners. Well, a stretch and corner. And you find yourself approaching the entrance, as you so say. Exit. Could be both. It's a revolving
Direction
door.
traveled when wanting to...
Yeah. Technical terms. You do eventually surface.
Anything of note immediately?
You're in some sort of compound, camp, something like that.
Checks out.
There are multiple wooden crafted structures, as well as a wooden palisade that sort of forms the perimeter of this place. A palisade is like a wall of spiky,
Point to
tall
this.
logs. Yeah, real
Okay,
Jamestown
fancy.
shit.
Interesting. I know I could cheat. Anyways.
Time of day changed at all?
It's still daytime, if that's what you're wondering. It seems it's still around the same time. Like, obviously, you guys have done shit down there, so time has passed, but it seems the same. Like, it seems within your time zone and things like that. No massive chronological change.
Looking at the palisade, if we're all out, any signs of? Oh yeah, that's where I would break in.
Roll me your perception. 14. I mean, to any competent climber, palisades aren't usually a problem. At least not the ones like of this sort of craft of literally just wooden logs and keeping like with spikes on it, there's point bits on the top. So like honestly, you yourself could probably break in anywhere along this perimeter.
Yeah, it's more so to keep.
It's more to keep like the elements out and large roving bands out to not necessarily stop a particular stealthy, capable individual.
All right, so no good starting point for investigating.
There is a wooden gate, I should mention, but it is closed.
Still no signs of forced entry.
In terms of the gate that you see, no, it doesn't look like it's been cast open, broken open. Yeah.
Is there a forest around?
Yes. You guys are sort of. You can see sort of down the way. You guys are sort of on. To put it simply, you're sort of on the peak of a small mountain. It's more like a really tall hill, in my opinion, but whatever. But you're all on the peak of it, the top of it. And you see, like, sort of where it juts up to fully be at its tallest point. That little cone. The base of that cone is where the entrance of this underdwelling is. And then the camp is built around that. So you can see down the way there's a forest.
Discern where we are due to the forest.
I'm sorry? Repeat that?
Could I discern where we are? Just like when I take into account the forest and the previous forest we were in.
You can tell you're not where you were originally.
Can she still tell if we're like in the twins as opposed to like the hilllands based off plants and stuff?
Well, the flora has changed. I will tell you that for free. It's a matter of what you believe of how quickly can flora and fauna change in a matter of space.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and obviously you're in a much higher elevation at this point, so...
Yeah, so is it more like northern type stuff?
It's colder, it's higher, it's... By definition, Hilllands is higher because of the hills and more northern. But as for whether or not you cross the border for it, that's up to you guys.
Since I would have passed woods, and I am very like adherent to nature and flowers and shit. Could I roughly tell, like, oh hey, those trees, I remember them, like. I don't know.
Roll me your nature.
Could Shadowless assist that? Oh, never mind.
Hey!
Don't need my help.
You have not crossed into the Hilllands yet. Wait, let me grant the map.
It's like, oh my god, over there, I slept there! That's my poop pile!
Drinking water, you dick.
You're nowhere. You're not on the yellow road that led up to the Hilllands. That being said, you see like the blue border that marks the twins.
Yeah.
Marks the twins. I will smite you. You're right. You're basically you're on that line.
Ooh.
On the left one or the upper one?
The left one. You're still within the circle, I should say.
Oh, we're in the circle. Okay.
The
I
highest
would
point
tell
of the
them.
blue line where it intersects with the red circle.
Oh,
Yeah, I
oh,
see
gotcha.
it.
So like over here.
Where did we start?
Yeah.
We started.
You started at the crossroads of the yellow.
Okay.
Started up
I
back
would
there.
tell them like, don't worry, our horses aren't far.
They are pretty far. This is like a couple of days travel, like 2. I mean, if you have horses a day,
Probably don't currently.
yeah. So therefore, trekking through mountain, hill, and forest, yeah, it's gonna take a while.
Okay. Then I would tell them.
Because you remember, these outposts are not on the road. They're pointedly off the road.
I tell y'all, like, I know this tree. Here you are.
We're in this region. Oh right.
We
I
could
wouldn't tell
assume
you
then
any
that
regions.
this
I would
be
tell
the-
you directions until you figured it out.
Sure.
List. There we go.
possibly the northernmost outpost then.
Makes sense.
Can I ask Danoi to assist me and do like a little perimeter just to see if there are any obvious signs of scuffle or traces of this like
On the perimeter or in
stealthy
the entire compound?
within the palisade.
Okay, yeah, sure. Roll for advantage. For
What we would be looking for signs of scuffle or signs of someone having, for instance, jumped over the palisade and landed. That sort of.
okay, so roll me investigation. Looking into particular things. As far as you can tell, it doesn't look like it looks the same peculiar trend as the previous outpost. It doesn't look like there has been forced entry.
Can I look?
It doesn't look like anyone scaled and then dropped down to the palisade.
Can I look
By all
at
means, this
the,
place is fine.
Stables and aviary that they mentioned.
Okay, you don't even need to roll for that. So, like, they're their own separate building.
Yeah.
So, looking around, you find barracks, armory, stables are towards the gate, aviary towards the entrance you're at, and goes up a bit on the peak.
Are there any like animals in those places?
No.
Okay, that's interesting. Are there any sign like?
I will give you the free hint is that High Captain Arnold did say that every significant guard posting the twins got the same message of Fell Gods Be Rising, so there wouldn't be any birds here.
Oh, that makes sense. But the horse is also not being there.
The horses being missing, that's up to you to decide.
And I'm guessing like I don't walk into a room and it's filled with blood again.
No, this place is clean.
No more blood rooms.
Oh,
Listen
does it
in
look
my
in
barn
this
downtown
stable-
LA, thank you very much.
In this stable, does it look like the horse prints are fast, like they're running from something, or tracking out like they usually do?
Usual routine stuff.
Okay.
Let's check the buildings one by one then, and then head back down.
So, what do you start with? What do you attempt to locate first? I'll put it at. I'll say that out of game, so I don't have to just roll randomly. You find this position.
Probably the aviary. That would, at least to me, seem like if there's no obvious point of entry, then perhaps they flew in.
Fair enough.
What if the second tunnel wasn't here before and they dug it?
It's not impossible.
So you go up to the aviary, taking some wooden staircase that, again, winds up the peak a little bit ways. Goes above the entrance that you guys had, exit that you guys had exited from. It's not like a noble manners aviary. It's just straight up like a cage to keep the birds in, shelves to hold feed, and then like a wooden, gazebo style that encompasses it.
Any food in here?
This is like bird feed, yeah.
I take a handful. Does
Does
it taste like
any-
normal bird food?
Any leftover
Yeah.
correspondence?
No.
Any sign of like someone having sent a message? Like I don't know. Like I
Inkwells,
don't even
that
know
sort
what
of
that
thing?
would look like. But
An ink quill that's still wet. I don't know.
There's no paper, ink, or pen or anything, if that's what you were wondering.
What's the newest bird poop?
That is a question I never expected to hear.
Let's see. Well, first off, roll me nature.
Do I get advantage if I lick all of them?
Please don't.
No.
Oh yes, this must be Steven Seagal.
a boo.
Steven
That looks like-
Seagal. Thank you for the death saves. Can I get some death saves in chat, please? Death saves in chat.
It was coming.
Why are you the-
tabs?
Let me
Why
take
are
bird
you?
food. I will
why are
have to
you-
do it this thing. Nature normal, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't know. Like,
They're
it's
all
definitely,
dried.
there's nothing recent.
Wait a second.
Minimum time, at least a week and a half, 2 weeks. But again, similar to Chedamare earlier, you can't put a safe approximation as to how long.
When did they say that the messages arrived? How long ago?
You guys didn't ask.
That would have been a.
After Pico tells us that, can I check to see how long it's been? Using my intimate knowledge of it.
The northern one was the most recent.
When you say intimate knowledge of animals, that sounds.
Oh, you're
We
from
have a close
Wales.
relationship.
He's from Wales.
I have a way more information with animals.
That's funny.
I feel bad for the Welsh.
They hear that shit all the time.
They're such a target for these jokes. You can roll, Marshall. Yeah, sure. I would say it's a higher DC for you, but
Boy.
yeah, you get the same knowledge. You can confirm the knowledge.
Yep, looks at least a week old.
Yep, that's poop.
It's been 4 days.
As Garth said, the captain did say the northern one was the first one to come in. Then it went south in terms of chronological order.
I actually have the information backwards. Hold on.
Northern one came first, fell. Northwestern, gods. Western B, southern one, rising.
While we're looking around, I would like to detect magic as a ritual by smelling everything.
Okay. Now we have 10 minutes to clear through now. This is what happens every time you guys cast detect magic as a ritual. Is that you just remove yourself for 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, I basically just look around the perimeter and then put my nose to the ground and start sniffing it.
Okay.
Shadowmere,
That's the grind
logically,
10 minutes.
Logically what?
and Seema, perhaps you would be the person to ask. We know where the bodies went. We don't know how they got there. Did they ambulate themselves? Were they forced? Were they carried? You mentioned footprints before. Could you tell how many?
Could I tell how many?
From for the way down or the way up, I guess was where you took.
Yeah, the way up. Because the way down we only have one track.
What'd you roll?
Number.
17. You can tell that. How to put this? The path that you took, you followed up, was incredibly well trodden to the point where it was a bunch of back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But I just highlighted of significance the ones on top.
Gotcha. So it's like.
So obviously
way
Pico's
down.
way up. Yes. But that being said, of the most recent ones, the most prominent one would have been one coming down.
Mm-hmm.
Just one though. Going up, there's a bunch.
And I relay that information.
That's very disturbing because either they were put there somehow or enthralled somehow to just walk into their own deaths.
That's interesting.
What if it was just a bad man that walked in?
I feel like there
Well-
would have been signs of a struggle then.
What if he just walked in like a dude,
Like a dude. Like this guy's
What's your guys' passive perception?
6.
22!
Bad.
11.
Okay, so anyone that's... Okay, so basically everyone except Aldrich and Seema.
And the blind McGee over there that punches things. Marshall.
We should just have a passive. Actually, no, that defeats the purpose of investigation because the whole point was looking into things. The investigation that Aldrich and Danway did earlier was around the palisade looking for signs of entry. it doesn't necessarily pertain to the rest, the center of the camp, the buildings of the camp, and stuff like that. They're looking for particular topics of interest. Your passive perception tells you that there was something going on here, and it wasn't something routine.
Was it a wedding?
I'm not going to answer that. I think we can all safely assume what the answer would be.
Pico, focus on your sniffing. I can
Especially
tell you not
considering how
bad.
the last time a wedding happened in this campaign, it didn't go so well.
Okay. With that in mind, I would look around for... What is she looking around for? Oddities.
There are signs of a scuffle.
Signs of a scuffle.
Scuffle. Walking you.
Can I... If I get Marshall's help, can I determine, like, if it was, like, a fight kind of thing? Or, like...
Oh, or you could ignore the two people with experience with crime scenes and scuffles, just saying.
Yeah, but he also has experience with fights and things. I want to get Marshall in on this,
Yeah,
okay?
I realize now that a lot of you are very capable at examining places of combat.
Yeah.
How about I just tell all of you to roll and we'll just see who's the best one at examining?
Sure.
I'm for it.
Passive
All of you
investigation.
all of you just roll investigation.
Straight roll.
Cheddar are pointing this out.
Hey!
Taylor points it out, but
I'm not even. I was talking to Dragana earlier about how like Seema honestly only had like one true year of like combat experience before this, but
It
apparently,
was a very serious year, apparently.
yeah.
You learn fast.
16
To
to
be fair,
4,
second one is
20s to
Pico.
1.
Who's currently just sniffing the floor.
Also,
I'll just be like, well, it's not a building, it's not an alleyway. Sorry.
This ratio is fantastic.
yeah, Terrence,
16 to 4.
It's like 4 to 1.
In technicality, Marshall, is the same as at 4 to 1, but he only has like 5 numbers put in there. It's good shit.
Good shit.
I will say. Okay, I'll just simply ask this for the sake of brevity. Does Seema just give all this information as she finds it?
Yeah, like talking it out like Sherlock going around a crime scene of like pointing out, and there is where like someone fell to the floor and
And there's where someone got kicked in the dick.
right in the wiener.
It is something to note that the place has been cleaned up a bit.
Yeah, try not
It's
to
been... yes, but not to any significant degree. Thus, your examining of it. You can tell from your investigation, Seema, that it's not really a dining hall. Because it's not a hall. It's just outside. It's a table outside. The dining area out here on the compound. Chairs were chucked down and stuff like that. People standing at attention in a rapid manner. As I said, there's just signs of some sort of scuffle. People sprinting, falling. No blood or anything. But there's signs of a scuffle. And it's onto you to ask me questions onto the scene. Because I can't describe everything in existence.
Okay, so
Much as I would like.
you said that there was signs that people got up in a hurry, like they had been doing something else, and then something started happening.
Yes.
What direction did they see head after they stood up in a hurry?
The gate.
Okay. But we said the gate is closed, correct?
Yes.
Is all of the signs of struggle on the interior of the gate? Is that safe to assume?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any... And there are no bodies in here, right?
Nope. No bodies, no blood, nothing.
Does it look as if, like, bodies have been dragged out?
No.
Are there marks of, like, where people maybe, like, fell down in
Yeah.
combat?
Yeah, there are.
And are these, like, kind of distinct marks, or have they been, like, trodden over as well?
It's a mix of both. Some of them are a bit out of the way from the centrality of this oval-like compound. Are a bit more distinct, but ones in the center have been trodden over, it seems.
Okay, but so it doesn't necessarily, because the reason why I'm asking that is like, does it appear as if there's like places where people like it was their final fall, you know? Is there
It's their dirt nap graveyard.
Yeah. I'm not saying that like as an innuendo.
There's
But
a mark
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
ground that looks like a sword went through his chest.
Yeah, I get what you're asking. There are not.
And are there any tracks of people like exiting? Like
Nope.
retreating?
Oh, retreating.
I guess, yeah, kind of.
In terms of leaving the compound, no.
But further into the building?
Well, more like one into the cave that you guys came out of.
I'm relaying all of this to everybody else. Is anybody asking me any questions about what I'm observing?
Where did the battle start?
The
Speak
battle.
through my mouth.
No, I was just thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe. They ran towards the gate. That doesn't mean the battle started at the gate. In technicality, the battle started, I don't know, 20 paces from where any person would have been standing. So people at the dining table got up, sprinted towards the gate. They didn't arrive at the gate necessarily, but they went towards it. Fight had been
Oh, are
before
the
they got there.
footprints? Are the footprints that came through the gate also going into the compound?
Now, when did I ever say there were footprints entering the gate?
Yeah.
Then that's my first question.
So there are notably not signs of.
There. If you went outside the gate, the only thing that led up this way are horse tracks. Routine horse tracks.
Are there so with like the signs of a scuffle, does it appear to only be like signs of like physical fighting, or are there like signs of like magic being done, as in like scorch marks or something?
Seems all physical.
Okay.
Wait. Did the fighting start at the gate?
I said no.
It's like people headed towards the gate, but they're
Fightings happened before they got there.
My
yeah,
idea is what if
basically is that they were met. Like someone was. It appears as if someone was coming in towards the gate, but there are no signs of someone walking in. But that's where people were headed, but they were met before they reached it.
what I'm thinking is
What does your nose tell you about magic?
Yeah, at this point 10 minutes will pass. I mean, there's nothing magical here.
was there anything magical here?
The place just has that similar sense of disgusting taint as like the previous location.
Taint.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure
listen.
three of us laughed at that.
You can't.
How am I the youngest one here?
You can't say the word taint and expect it
Corruption, creep,
to smell like
Gooch.
taint.
darkness. Shut up.
The taint,
Oh,
the grundle,
you
the
guys.
fleshy fun bridge.
I'll roll a depth save.
You may or may not have children in the room where you're at.
Yeah, that's
Cute.
Oh my god.
That's some good shit.
God damn it, you guys.
I forgot what we were doing.
So what was your theory there, Pico?
Just that, did they attack each other or something invisible to us?
As far as the tracks tell, they were not fighting each other.
Okay.
And there are no tracks that meet them halfway.
So it's like I only see the tracks of one side of an altercation.
Yes. Also, I can hear you typing. Thank you
Thank you.
very much. I like this
And nothing
Sherlock
magic.
Holmes and Watson thing going on between Seema and Pico. It's just the rest of you are just watching.
Well, that's what I was like,
I'm literally
normally
taking notes right
Aldrich
now.
has really good investigative questions, so that's why I'm like, well, I've reached the end of my ideas, and then Pico will say something, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's also something I could.
I'm taking notes, which means Shedimir's also scribbling shit down. He's like, oh, yes.
Ditto.
Can we get any idea of like how they cleaned it? Like, did they just like walk around with a broom, or did they just like magic and it was gone?
I mean, for like the chairs and stuff, they just righted them back up. For places that you suspected might have been deeper falls, like they just kicked some dirt up over it.
Do we see footprints?
It's not a terribly effortful cleanup.
Do we see footprints that cleaned up?
No.
Ha ha ha. Thank you, invisible creature, for cleaning up.
I'm not invisible.
I mean, up here, the cleanup isn't part of your job. I think the cleanup might be downstairs where the guy's hanging from the fucking ceiling.
It's still very polite, coming in, making a mess, and then cleaning up.
Here's the thing.
So we're looking for a very conscientious ghost.
Yeah, a fight went down against people that don't leave tracks, or at least no.
I'm don't you have a way of securing your own tracks?
Yeah.
Are there a bunch of different creatures that could, or like magic that could potentially result in people not leaving tracks?
That's without trace.
I was about to say you had it cast upon you technically.
Oh, okay.
Are there any tracks on the walls or ceiling leading to the place?
That's a fun one.
I mean, this is an open compound. It's not like you guys are in a big cave or anything.
Are there any marks on the wall? Since Aldrich was pointing out,
walls of the palisade, no. Walls of the buildings, no.
So it's just appeared.
Yep.
By the way, if we open the gates and look outside, do we see anything of notice?
As I said, if you wanted to check outside, all that leads up this way is Horse Footfalls.
You know that there is.
If I smell it, with the detect magic still on, does it smell like maybe magic was here?
Does detect magic work like that?
No, but no, it isn't. Which is why I'm asking if it's like, if I can just smell some residue in the air or dirt.
This is me wall breaking.
No.
Yeah, no, you don't detect anything. Like me allowing you guys to supercharge your abilities, like looking backwards like a few hundred years to see the wedding. Yeah, that stuff, like I do as exceptions and not rules. I will tell you.
I know, no, it didn't even. Yeah, no, just it wasn't even related to that. It was related to, sometimes smells stay longer than.
And I haven't seen any physical signs of magic besides the obvious thing that there was someone not leaving tracks around here.
Part is there was a fight,
or potentially an illusion.
Like it's really hard to kill someone without leaving blood.
What if the bleeding was internal?
Mind flashes to... Actually, wait, I'm not sure you guys have seen it, but Aldrich, your blade literally steals the fucking life essence of people as you kill them.
Yeah,
so, I'm just saying, it's not that out of the realm of imagination for some of you.
I mean, there are ways to kill people without having the blood go all over the place.
Says this out loud.
They're sort of heavier implements of blunt force, but
that generally still results in some blood.
Like I said, really hard, not impossible.
So we know this footprints going down. Why don't we just?
I'm not going to that part. We're just finding out stuff up here.
What's that?
Should we go down now?
Wait, is there just plants around us, right?
Up here, no.
Oh, okay.
It's down the mountain. It's too cold up here, and plus the terrain is too rough.
What? Nobody wants to have.
We're like okay. So we're like in a patio area where it's like a garden area.
Yeah, like a flat top area of a cone-like mountain. It's a lesser mountain. You're not deep in the margin closet by any means, but...
Crash, if the perimeter seems safe, Aldrich would do a quick sweep and mend with the mend cantrip. Any sort of broken chairs, shattered tables, equipment, that sort of thing. Just tidying it up, because that was the job. That's what they're technically getting
In
Need
terms of
change that.
furniture and things like that, nothing's broken. In terms of equipment, there's nothing in the armory.
Oh, that's bad.
Nothing in the armory, no food in the pantry. Any safe chests for, in the barracks for where they sleep, cast open and empty.
So they murdered him.
Is it like-
Shit.
Is it like there isn't even a single like I don't know, residue on the floor kind of empty, or is it like we quickly took everything that was edible out of the pit of the thing?
It's empty. There are no traces.
They took their time to get everything out. That's fun. These people.
I don't think it was time. I think it was just taken out of here, and in a different way.
Or maybe the people armed themselves and helped to go to new place.
So, what do you do? If you want to ask further questions about this surface area scene later, that's fine.
Will my nat 20 still apply?
But yeah, no, the nat 20 doesn't apply all the way down the mountain.
Oh, yeah. I just meant, like, if later on we're like, oh, did we see something similar to this earlier? Like, is it
Then,
still...
yeah, I'll factor in the nat 20.
Okay.
So, shall we check out the underground bit?
I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
I've asked all the questions that I could possibly, like, figure out to ask.
You guys begin heading back into the cave and down. 10, 20 minutes pass. Maybe like 17, something like that.
A period of time.
A period of time. You do follow this hurried set of footprints that lead down. Down. You pass the door that you guys came in through. The smell of decay and the like.
Does it look like it's been messed with at all?
Since you left, no.
Okay.
Down, down, down. Look for the bare necessities. God damn it. You eventually come across the end of the tracks. And they end in front of the cave-in.
Abruptly, or they go in the cave?
Well, the more like they realize that, like, feet away that it's a cave-in. Like, they stop. I mean, I guess it's abrupt, yeah.
They turned around then?
I'll give it to Chetamir for free. It's a prey running into a corner, not realizing it's a corner.
Yeah. That's what I figured. Are there any signs of that person being stabbed or something?
Wrong investigation.
This is bizarre.
Can I assist her?
If you wish.
I do.
Damn. I have no idea.
They're gone. Poof. Oh, my tarot cards.
No.
These things are great. I've been like fiddling with these, like playing with these the whole time.
Oh, they're so much fun.
Really good for my fidgety hands.
Press my weight against the rocks to see if, one, they're sturdy, two, if it's an illusion for some reason.
It's real turret. It's a real cave-in.
Alright, just wanted to get that one out of the way.
Does it smell like magic?
No. That being said, I'm not sure if Detect Magic is still up.
Yeah.
Probably not. You said
But
that.
it doesn't have any, like, physical sign magic.
Like burn marks or anything? No.
Mm-hmm.
Chetamir, you reckon this would be
Nothing
in the
glowing.
realm of possibility to be some sort of, dare I say it, tunnel?
I mean, it certainly seemed to have been a tunnel at some point, but it collapsed. Wait. Can I look around and see if it's, like, structurally unsound? Like it was going to collapse beforehand, or someone made it collapse, essentially, is what I'm trying to
Sure. Roll me investigation again.
Okay.
Alright, guidance.
Guidance.
Take a guidance. Ouch.
Oh no!
From the looks of it, it wouldn't have mattered.
I'm just gonna roll a d4 and see if I get a 1. Yeah, I did. Sweet, double 1. He's gonna kick me teeth. Nice.
You don't know, honestly.
Can I
You legitimately don't know. You're not a minor.
Can I shoot the... What? Well, it wouldn't matter because the alchemist thing. The natural philosopher, but I guess that wouldn't fucking matter. It's a natural one. Whatever.
This isn't for like ores and this is like
fair.
that's like the use of ores, not the mining of it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense. Can I
Crash.
just shoot the question towards Anella and see if she thinks of it?
And I was been in silent observation this whole time.
I forgot she was there.
And her ever-present smile.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
So there is an entrance, technically, right? There used to be. So-
I'm not saying that, but
Is there a specific pebble I would need to move so that the whole thing collapsed?
you assume there was an entrance here.
Yes.
That's
could be
my
fair.
answer.
Silence.
So I can't move any pebbles.
There's no dirt, so no.
Do we need to dig it out?
I have no idea what he said.
Need.
Need to dig it out, I believe you said. Type. Children in the background. What were you gonna ask, Noah?
Do we need to dig it out?
I'm asking what Chedimer's gonna ask Noah, not what you're gonna ask the group.
It was just basically say that line of thought of just like, do you think someone could have made this collapse, or it just like happened, or if she could like determine that.
She looks at it for a moment, looks at the walls of the place. I don't think there's anything past here.
Then why is it here?
Because
Why are there any ever dead ends in mines? Because they
I don't
stopped
know.
digging.
So
Oh,
you,
is there anything below us?
I can tell you right now, you guys are standing on dirt.
show insight, folks.
I think she was saying like, can we detect a tunnel somehow?
It's not. You guys can't just ask the question and then assume I'll just answer it. You guys gotta tell me how you figure it out. As far as I can tell, people don't have echolocation to determine this stuff.
No, I go to the floor with my ears, with my very sensitive ears, and knock.
You crunch dirt.
Normally crunching dirt.
I mean, there's no awkward way of crunching dirt, so yes.
If like I stomp.
Dirt is
off-
not the same as wood or stone. It doesn't have a hollow point. It's dirt. It's a bunch of tiny bits of dirt. You can't. It's not how it works. If I go over to a soil pot and knock on the soil, I just feel a crunch under my weight.
Have
So,
you
like,
seen
if
the
I, like-
pictures on the-
But like if I stomp, it's like very heavily to the point where it may reverberate through like bedrock, because she doesn't detect that there's like.
There is nothing below you. I'll just end this line of topic right now. There's nothing below you.
Hey, what were you looking for in here, Anella?
Who says I was looking for anything? I'm just watching all of you.
No, what were the people looking for?
How would I know?
No.
I guess this isn't something that Seema would even remotely know about, but is there signs of like any type of like war or anything about here?
Sign of what you cut out?
Any signs of
Ore.
like something like ore or like any instruments that were left behind that would be actual like mining instruments as opposed to just like tunneling, like something like Evidence that they were
there's
collecting
nothing,
anything?
There's nothing on the way down.
Okay.
No mining equipment, mining marks.
Oh, how are these tunnels dug? Like, are they very precise, like man-made? Are they natural occurring? Are they like
They're man-made.
okay, but how well
Mortal
made?
They're person made.
Crash.
No, but how well were they made? Like, was someone very specific about like?
Very well.
So it was very specific. Okay.
I'll give it for free to Aldrich. Mining stuff here on the edges of the margin, either the margin mountain ranges are a common thing, and then that's why it's often. This is why humans and dwarves have a rocky relationship. Feel free what Dust says on that. Is because the humans mine here, the dwarves come out to mine here. Why are you mining in my spot, fucker?
The simplest of conflicts.
That being said, that doesn't happen as much these days. Now there's something of a peace treaty that people are only allowed to mine certain areas during certain, like, with certain equipment, stuff like that. You can't go too deep, or else you'll piss off the dwarves. You can't come too far out from the margin claws, or you'll piss off the humans, stuff like that.
So the dwarves are clearly blaming the Nevros in an effort to murder all the humans for mining.
Yes, how you saw through my grand facade. Yes.
Solve the case. Anyway,
You did it. Objection.
I was gonna ask if I put my hand onto the walls and listen. I try to find the rhythm that I'm expecting to find. Does it feel the same way as it has in other places?
I mean, in terms of the acquisition of the rhythm, it's a bit. You got to put a bit more effort in.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the rhythm itself, it's a bit more dull, slow. It reminds you, because I imagine you've felt this many times before, it reminds you of a dying person's heart.
So if there is nothing below, nothing above, maybe there's just
It reminds me of
Oh, that's right. Ignore me.
an exhausted resource, in lack of a better word for anything. If they were digging for anything here, I'd think they've dug up whatever they were going to find. This place is dying.
I will say again, another free piece of history is these sorts of mining expeditions, I guess the word is, they happened a long time ago.
Oh, so this
I'm not saying like thousands of years ago or even like several centuries, like more like a few centuries to a couple centuries ago.
So it's entirely possible, especially since we didn't find any equipment, that this was just something that was already here.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Shadowmere,
Mm-hmm.
I'm terribly sorry to bring this up so suddenly. That dream you said you all shared the other night.
Yes.
You guys asked about this, correct?
Yeah.
What was the exact term your dreamy fell god told you about the one you're finding?
So out of game, I wasn't there for that part.
Oh shit, you're right!
Yep.
The Shadow Man?
Alright, someone else answer!
I'm just gonna say Chedamir is just like, hey,
If memory serves, the Shadow Man.
And Noah purses her lips. Shadow
Dim all
Man?
the light.
Missikala. Interesting.
would you mind?
I would implore you to be ever cautious. Especially around light and in the dark.
Everywhere then.
Yeah.
She shrugs.
Hmm.
Shadow requires light. But the darkness is a shadowy shroud.
I'm starting to blow out Chidimir's torch, but like really, really awkward. Like,
Like, absentmindedly just raises the torch a little higher.
Seema, if you had such a vendetta against such an individual, I really wish you would have said something earlier.
I'm not sure I knew the full scale of before.
She just smiles at you.
Can I infer, like, what her thought process is of behind that smile?
Roll insight with advantage.
Yeah. Of just, like, she's secretly in the back of her head, like, that's actually genuinely upsetting and concerning. Damn! It is not my day, okay.
I'll give you an analogy. It's a similar he gave to Soros when he was in that alleyway with Aldrich and Cedric back in Tiarmor.
Mm-hmm.
You know the one I'm talking about. You know the one.
Vaguely, but I cannot remember what the point there
There-
was.
There's a line of chat somewhere in the messages, I'm sure. Go dig it up. But that's all I'll give you.
Mm-hmm.
The Nevros you hunt is old, Seema. Older than me.
Seema's brow furrows deeper than usual. Are you suggesting that somehow...
I am eternally young? Of course I am.
Oh, of course, you always have that youthful glow, but are you suggesting that the Nevros is actually some sort of fell god?
No. Well, perhaps. Depends on your definition of fell god.
Fell god in the sense that you could be considered a fell god?
Ah. No. Fell demigod, perhaps, but not fully a god.
is his dad a god?
Chad, if you believe that's how gods are formed, if their parents alone make them, you are incorrect.
Worship can
yes,
give power to
obviously.
inanimate objects.
Who didn't know that?
Wait, what did he say?
Tala's just like, just pinches the bridge of her nose.
Sweat all on his forehead.
Ha 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 ha, what simpletons, ha ha ha.
Well, if this place is empty, shall we be on a merry way and clean this shit up?
I promised you assistance, so one last thing before we go back up. Oh, your mic. Thank you very much. I'm a bit sad I didn't think about it earlier, but it's been a while since the topic was brought up to me. The being you hunt, Seema, and likely the being that caused all this. The Mesikala, as he's referred to in Nevros, translates directly into Reaper being, or, as you guys are been told, to call him a Shadow Man. Well, what do you think his implement of combat is?
A scythe.
Yeah.
Mortal imagery for a Grim Reaper. This is incorrect. Think of the name itself, children. Names are important after all.
Darkness?
Shadow Man.
Penis? Oh.
He's so ever charming, isn't he, Chedamir?
Jennifer's just like rubbing the bridge of her nose. It's like, oh my gosh.
He fights with our shadows?
Well, I imagine he can do other things with it as well, but that is certainly one avenue I've heard he does.
Can our shadows turn against us?
Certainly. Your shadows are a part of this world, just like anything else, after all.
Shadows won't leave traces.
Yeah, Pico is just staring at her shadow with like side eyes.
Earlier, so was there, in the place we were at earlier, was there like an outside source of light?
There was a bonfire. There's a bonfire in the center of the camp. Like a big fire pit. I mean.
And so, did with the pattern of the like struggle, did it seem like it was all directed in the direction of the gate, or did it seem to be directed in a radial way? Like just outwards in general?
I'll describe it to you like this. Might make things simpler. It seems that something drew their attention to the gate, thus they're sprinting towards it. You've seen this, you've investigated this, and then as I've told you, they stop and scuffle is immediately had. With no tracks meeting them halfway.
But what direction were they facing?
Well, the thing is, in the scuffle, you're sort of stomping around in a bunch of different directions, so it's already a bit hard to tell.
So there wasn't a distinct. Okay, that was.
No, it's not like they were all looking north when they were fighting. No.
Yeah, that was my.
No.
Okay.
It's as if a bunch of one-on-one duels happened simultaneously.
It was shadows.
Don't follow the lights.
You hear from up the cave.
Yeah, I definitely put away my light at this point.
Miss, how do we get rid of our shadows?
She smiles and doesn't say anything.
One way would be to turn invisible.
A noise of appreciation. What is that? It's too happy for this. Get that shit out of here.
We need drama.
My phone's now muted.
Another would be to envelop yourself in complete darkness.
Or emanate
But then I will be covered in shadow.
Only
That depends on
soft,
you.
diffuse light from here on out, friends. We're gonna
I
have
remind
to
you
get...
that he's only referred to as Shadow Man by the common tongue, and in Everest he's referred to as something different. I don't know the truth of his ability.
Yeah.
He is older than I.
Is it possible Chanamira is learning Nevros that she can kind of figure it out? Since Anella isn't, like, telling us the direct answer.
Fair enough. Roll me your intelligence.
I know Nevros.
Gonna get a 4. 7. I was close.
Yeah, you know. That's true. Marshall does have familiarity of Nevros. But that being said, roll me your wisdom.
Whom?
Because, like, this is something like a slang term. Yeah, you know.
Rip and piss for
I would
this.
have met Nevros. I don't think I speak it, but I met them.
Well, that doesn't help.
I don't think like it's Shadow Man is a word they just throw around like.
Yeah,
Hey,
no, it's no.
Shadow
Frank the Shadowman.
Roll me your wisdom.
A little parlor trick.
Pico, roll me your wisdom.
Okay.
Oh, fuck off.
To put it in blunt terms, the Shadow Man is the equivalent of a boogeyman.
I figured
Baba
Boogeyman, yeah.
Yeah,
The Baba Yaga.
he's the Baba Yaga.
So, did I hear scary stories? I would
I
imagine
mean, the
people
story, yeah, the stories behind it are pretty. Oh, you would imagine of a Reaper being Shadow Man.
Yeah, because I imagine people just love scaring Pico, so they tell her all the scary stories.
There are multiple versions of the story. Some claim it's just a demon. Some claim it's a fell god. Some claim in technicality it's a fell god demon. Stuff like that.
What did the oldest and most scruffiest man say about it?
To not mess with it. To run as far as your legs can take you, and then more. And even then it might not be enough.
See, they always tell the truth.
Because you can't outrun your shadow.
Fuck, it is the shadow.
Really, never would have guessed by the fucking name.
I am legit scared
As-
of my shadow now.
As Anella says, like,
I swing my
that's
hand.
not necessarily his only ability, but it is.
Well, not his only thing,
It
but
is the most
also
famous one.
pretty
It's
potent.
the notorious one.
I go with Marshall's plan. I take my bamboo stick and ram it into the dirt where my shadow is.
Shadowmere is rubbing her
You're-
her nose again.
Your bamboo.
And then I do
nah,
that.
this is
I'm
not a
watching
nice
you
shadow.
move.
Your bamboo makes
Anyway.
shadow.
Let's get on with this, shall we?
Waste of time here.
Great. Now you armed him.
Also, pro tip, if you're trying to clean blood, don't wipe it around. It'll only grind it into whatever porous surfaces you're trying to clean. You need to soak it.
Dab at it. Dab away remarks.
Cold water
Yes.
only.
Lemon helps.
Baking soda.
You can just lick it away.
That's the most disturbing one.
Be for 20 years. It's like cleaning the. It's like cleaning the bathroom with her toothbrush.
Unless you have a
Yeah.
way to manipulate water, because blood is essentially water.
Control water. If you would like, I can offer some assistance in the cleaning.
Do you have a mop?
I have something far better, child. So, shall we?
Sure.
Anella doesn't wait for the rest of your response and she just walks back up.
And
Keep in mind, Anella is not deterred by darkness at all. So she is dark vision.
I see in the dark, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be right behind her.
I am still keeping my bamboo stick in my shadow while I'm walking.
My shadow learned its lesson. I move on.
I fought my shadow and I won. I am now a vampire. That's man, that would be such a great twist for a vampire. Is if you can beat your shadow and kill it, you can. That's like one of the things to become a vampire because vampires don't have shadows.
Ooh.
The arch enemy of the shadow.
Oh
To
man,
be faster than your own shadow, you would have to be faster than the speed of light.
that's some good shit. Good shit. Anyways, and Noah, you guys follow Noah back up to the
Definitely don't eat.
for lack of a better word, portal room.
Sure.
And she enters. She sort of fills the door frame. Just wait one moment. She begins closing the door of you guys outside.
As she does that, I'll turn to Danaway and I'll say, you know, the presentation bothers me. It reminds me of some...
Fetishist.
Yeah, and you and I, we've read our fair share of crass poetry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Does it remind you of anything?
No, it doesn't. She says,
Oh, second date.
Does it remind me of anything?
In terms of edubation, art edubation, like a room painted red. No, like
More
it's
of
not
the,
really a romantic thing.
no, more of the sort of posturing, the placement of the bodies, the man with the heart of gold, the hangman.
Hangman with a heart of gold.
Yeah, bad poetry. Any
roll-
connections?
Man, you really are Caleb of this campaign. Going to your bookshops. Roll me your background information.
That
Oh my god.
nice.
There are a number of stories that reference people with quote-unquote hearts of gold. Some will mean it in a figurative sense, as, you know, they're a good person. Some refer to it as gilded gold, of they appear to be nice, but in actuality they're assholes trying to manipulate people. And there are some stories of people having literal hearts of gold. These are usually powerful beings, strange beings. None of them necessarily human, because obviously you can't live with a literal heart of gold.
You don't know me.
Is it a chat?
A large number of them were. A large number of them, a large percentage of them, I should say. There's not a large number of these stories, as you might imagine, but a large percentage of these stories of a literal heart of gold are usually in reference to golems or constructs of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
There's a number of stories of people that make golems or constructs, etc., in a lifelike manner of a lost loved one, and they put a heart of gold in them because that's what they believe they had before they passed. That being said, constructs, golems, they don't usually properly emulate living beings.
Among those, are there any stories of people or entities removing their own hearts, so to speak?
Not in particular. I can tell you one distinct individual that is renowned for it, but in terms of general story and stuff like that, people removing their own hearts, for whatever reason, not really. It's not exactly a common or recurring trope. The only one I can tell you is of a fell god. He is how to describe him. You guys, you roll really well, so. He is referred to as, let me just make sure I have the order of this right. Okay. He is referred to as Ashen Soul Vetlin. And he's something of a hypocritical god, so to say, a fell god. It's an A instead of an E on the last one, but yes. Everything else is correct. Ashen Soul Vetlin. He's a hypocritical god. He's a god that is against all other gods. He's an anti-religious god. He's very nihilistic, so is reported. And it is said that nothing can really do anything to him. Thus the term Ashen Soul. Food turns to ash in his mouth, stuff like that. It's like Midas, except shittier.
Noted. I would make a mental note of, if we end up observing more of these locations, to pay attention to the placement of the bodies, the sort of mock battles, as it were, to see if it triggers any sort of references to stories I've heard, poems of battles, or any sort of connection to the more folklorish whatever
Very
exposure
well.
I may have had.
As you wish.
Keeping that in mind. I also would tell the story of this while Anela does her thing.
Well, here's the thing.
Nice
Here's the thing. To start, you have a minute to tell the story, so.
Quite literal minute.
She closes the door. You hear the familiar crackling of time and space in a rift. Do any of you listen?
Yes, of course.
What?
Yes.
Who speaks Sylvan?
I
At a point earlier, it was literally every. Then things happened, so.
I speak Sylvan, and I have a passive perception of 22.
Put 1 in chat if you can speak Sylvan.
I think the only one is probably Marshall who can't.
I don't.
Oh,
See? Haha. Not all of you are damn fairy related. See? There you go.
I have a mark of winter on the back of my neck, okay? Don't give me
Well,
that.
that's on you. You maybe should have fetched your... That's on you. You eavesdrop through the door. She's not being particularly quiet, so there's no roll required. It's a one-sided conversation. It's more like a monologue, but you figure she's talking to someone. Begins with courtesies. Hello, good sir. Good to see you once again. Would you be so inclined as to help me with this? Silence. 1 minute later, you hear the energy close. And now opens the door, and the room is spotless. The body is still there, I will say, though.
Does it smell as bad as it did before?
Not at all.
Good.
It smells like lavender.
Of course it does.
I was about to say
That is-
lemon.
That is impressive.
We'll say lavender and lemongrass.
Yes.
You know, there's a whole clientele in Soulfall who would just love to pay for your services.
I'm sure there is, if my memory recalls, but I'm afraid I'm quite booked. And she gives a wink at Chadmere.
Kimmy just blushes.
So, are we going to be fighting our shadows now?
Oh, I do hope not.
Did you clean the place from shadows as well?
One does not clean shadow. After all, if you guys stepped into the room with light, you'd be dirtying it with shadow once again, wouldn't you?
So, pertinent question. Do we
Yes.
dismantle this here and then journey south, I suppose? Or do we step through and then journey back? Or deal with it later?
All of you roll me charisma. Not a charisma save, just charisma.
Better than I thought.
Charisma safe or?
No.
Not charisma save. Just charisma.
That 19, what up?
You literally only need a 10 to pass, so don't worry about it. If you so wish, I could just simply walk you back.
I would.
Tala remarks, do it! Do it, it's so cool.
I know it's
Tala? Right.
Okay,
I-
yeah, I'm in.
Sure, yes.
makes things easier.
It'd be your first glimpse into the Fey Wilds in your own memory. She says this to the air, but two of you feel it pointedly.
I think Cheddarman just gets a chill down her spine. Anyways,
Aldrich smile.
should we take the body down? We should definitely take the body down.
Really? I thought you'd like to leave it for a nice decoration for the next one of Wayward Guardsmen.
That was.
I mean,
so
I would like
painfully
to, but that was
simplistic.
kind of not the job description.
I know. Do as you wish. Although I would caution you against the simple removal of it. Beings and objects that use those sorts of things, and she points at the wisp, they tend to be complicated to the point where just simply removing it might actually be counterproductive.
Can I open to you?
Seema, this might be your forte more so than mine. Do we have any
I mean,
Karem-approved methods of spirit removal?
yeah, I mean, we established, correct me if I'm wrong, but we established that in order to close the portal, I'm going to have to dispel magic. But,
That is a way, yes.
or that's one way I could do it.
Yes.
As far as removing the body,
I mean, the body's just pinned to the ceiling by metallic wiring.
yeah, what I'm
Nothing-
talking
nothing
about.
special about this one. The other one, on the other hand, well, as far as you're aware, nothing special about this one.
Yeah.
You haven't got the string yet.
Crash,
Yes.
is Anella actually taking us to the Feywilds?
As Anella and as Crash, I'm just smiling.
Because
What did
I
you
think-
like to know?
I think I'm gonna take the portal.
If you wish.
Alright. And I jump in.
This isn't your first trip through it, like the first proper trip through it. So, shot back out the original outpost. Smell of death and decay is a stark contrast from lavender and lemongrass.
Ugh.
You.
God, that's like drinking pulp orange juice after brushing your teeth.
Very good at keeping away
Exactly.
mosquitoes, too.
It's fresh and clean. Now it's disgusting, huh?
Soiled it. But yeah,
So-
I'm wondering if Seema would know like the most safe way to like.
Roll thy religion, champion of Karam.
Yes. I'm actually trained in that, unlike Arcana, but also Seema's not that smart.
Guidance?
Not better.
So,
Can't do retroactive guidance.
Indeed. So, 14, you've heard stories before of, how to say, purging things of this nature. You know that if you just destroyed the body, like just smashed it to pieces, it would work. This is the dumbest move you could possibly do, but it is a straightforward method. If you needed to do it in a pinch. Uncaring for the results, like the later results. So you shouldn't do that, or you could do that. I don't know. Maybe you want to be anti-eco-friendly. I don't know. But using Dispel Magic would be for the best, as well as properly giving the place rights.
Okay.
Sacrilege, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Sanctifying, that's the word.
Sprinkle a little holy water.
Something like that. Not necessarily holy water, but
Yeah.
proper faith. Y'all motherfuckers need Jesus, sort of shit,
Need some Karim up in here.
Yeah. I can tell you that this place is actually tainting, God fucking dang, corrupting the place around it. Not necessarily in a physical sense, not yet.
Mhm.
Its presence is just fucking everything up.
There's ley lines across the world. This is polluting that. It's like polluting the underground well water.
Okay.
And
So
as a mage, you tap it, you pull that water up.
yeah. So a good first step would be dispelling magic, followed by doing rites over it. Is that? Did I understand that correctly?
That is a fair method.
All right.
There is other stuff as well, but yeah. There are two options that you know about. One that you can figure out yourself of just smash it, and then if your other shouldn't just smash it.
Yeah, I'd rather not just smash it. That seems not the best way to go about.
I will say to Aldrich from the role he did earlier, you guys can actually control it.
Is that a can or a
Can.
cannot? Okay.
You can. It's like
But-
replacing the lock on it, of a door, and then you become a new key.
I will say,
Might
if
not be for
we're
the best.
if we're discussing it as a group, Seema is incredibly uncomfortable with the idea of using dark magic in like any way, even if it's like we take it to use it for our advantage. Seema's a hard no on that.
They are your nemesis. I will defer to your vengeance.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm very willing to die while seeking vengeance, but being corrupted is kind of the end, like not what I'm about as a cleric. So I prefer to do some dispelling and then do a little bit of praying,
Alright.
getting things.
Dear Jesus.
Whatever you need, then.
So we're gonna be able to get where we need to after this, though. Is that correct?
That is a fair assumption.
Okay.
Out of game, I'll put it to like this. I know it can take you back to the original post. She can't take you to the other ones because she hasn't been there.
Yeah.
Checks out.
But can we get to the other ones?
From here,
Mhm.
Yeah, we can just walk.
potentially. But that would require you controlling it.
Yeah. And it's one thing to hop through it. It's another thing to actually
Manipulate it.
like tap into its power.
Ask her to break it. She can travel us.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
You said break it and then just use another to go back.
Yeah, that's kind of.
It's up to you guys.
Crash, really weird question. Since I went through it so many times and my sense of magic is more coming to me than really me
You only
knowing
been through it
shit.
twice, I should say.
3
In its proper-
times.
In its proper form, you've only been through it twice. You guys staying in the door frame doesn't count.
No, I went through it 3 times. I went through it
Because you
the
helped
other
through it that one time.
I said in its proper form, though. Back and
Which is-
forth, not just jump in. Back
Oh,
and
yeah.
forth.
Well,
Oh,
Seema, do
okay.
you think?
Alright. Yeah, because that's high key. Would not be comfortable with manipulating it. Don't want to tap into it. So I'm going to dispel some magic.
I just saw what you wrote, Fred, of don't want taint in your water. Fuck you. I just got fucking damn it.
That's why I wrote it, didn't say it.
Oh my god. Slipped under. Never mind. Roll me your religion.
Damn, I lived.
Oh, now you broke it for Seema. She could have used that now.
Sorry.
Guiding myself. So, first religion. And... Whoa!
I'm so
Well,
sad.
let's see if I can make it average.
And that's supposed to have inspiration.
I don't think I do.
I don't have. I do have.
Coin of
I do have my
food.
point of command, and I'm going to use that right now.
Alright, well, first roll 1d2 to see when it recharges.
Feels
Yeah.
appropriate.
It is appropriate.
I can never remember if the 1 or the 2 is the better one.
I think the 2 is the better one because I remember, like. Well,
No,
don't
2
quote
is
it.
the bad one. 2 is long rest.
Okay, well, there we go.
I'll be honest. But yeah, so
Yeah, I forget that every time. Don't worry.
can I keep the 4 that I rolled for guidance?
You may.
Yay! Okay, fingers crossed. Okay, whew,
That's
much better.
19. Much. It's literally more than double.
Here's the thing. I was really ready to get a nat 1.
I was ready for you to get a nat 20. Or not 1.
I have done it
Alright,
many times
so,
before.
oh, Jesus.
You dispel the magic. The wisp sort of implodes and pulls itself in, and that's the magic part of it done. And by thy god's grace, you feel that sickening, malevolent sense around you go away. Other than the body hanging there, this place seems normal.
May I lightning lure the wires that are attaching to the ceiling?
If you wish.
Up to the ground.
Yes. If they are within 15 feet of me, I would like to do so.
I don't think they are, actually.
I think he said that's like 20 feet up. Is like where his
The ceiling's 20 feet up. Those feet are like 15 feet, but I don't think the wires that are holding them up are.
Yeah,
But
oh.
I honestly don't give a shit, so.
If you
Yeah,
say
I
it's
was
all
just saying,
slightly
you
out of
just-
range, I just pick
Yeah,
it up.
just slightly out of range. But yeah, you just.
Martial shoulders.
Yeah, I'm Marshall Shoulders.
He's fishing with lightning.
Body hits the ground in a sickening crunch and slump. I will say to Pico, the portal behind you is still there.
I'm going to perform rites over the body of just like putting it to its final rest, you know.
Before you do that, Seema, we should probably dig a hole outside so we can actually legitimately say that we gave something a burial.
I think that sounds like a nice thing to do.
It was also part of the job description.
I will say, Aldrich, since you're so like mission-minded, the captain did ask for like tags or anything. You could bring.
To bring that up because just we
Yeah.
haven't found any, have we?
No.
No, we haven't found any.
Just find
Yeah,
that.
no, you haven't.
That's great.
But you do your job to the best of your ability. Unless you want to start falsifying dog tags,
That
which should be
doesn't.
a crime of a different sort.
Ooh.
I mean, it would be an Aldrich's character, but I don't know if it would be to our benefit.
I'll do a quick rummage through the body, maybe check the interior, the stomach, see if there are any tags or any identifiable stuff.
No, don't
cut off people's heads and brought them back to life for information. There's nothing.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll see if there's anything in the mouth.
Nothing.
Why don't you just read your fortune in his entrails at this point? Like,
I mean, it would fit with his Nevro's heritage very well, I would think.
Rose gets the guard. Yes, I have a good fortune coming this week. I'm gonna win the lottery.
Alright,
If you honestly did that, I just draw a tarot card for you.
Nice.
Crash?
sure,
Yes.
why not?
You
Don't
think?
actually do it, no!
Seymour will actively stop you.
Same.
Are you saying you're gonna...
Did the portal at all change while I was there?
Nope.
Interesting.
No
Nothing
flux,
moved or
no
anything.
quiver, no movement, nothing.
Okay, then I would like to go
Well, I mean,
into.
you don't know anything happened on the other end.
Oh.
No, I don't.
Quick
No, I
question, what
don't.
happened with the rope?
I would like to. I would just like to get into my
Ropes are there.
other form and go talk to the horses for a while.
What horses?
There weren't
Horses,
any
we
there.
have horses.
I did leave Coin there, so you can go talk to Coin.
I will go talk to Coin.
I have Edgar.
Coin doesn't come inside dangerous places. Afraid of that.
Yeah, Coin is learned in the place of Edgar.
It's,
Oh my God,
it's
I
more
have-
I just realized Edgar has been following you this whole...
Yeah.
Edgar's also more compact than a whole ass wolf, though.
The
Yeah.
whole asshole. That's a good word to say.
Asshole.
That's a new monster, whole ass wolf.
Instead of
Well-
having a face, it's just a butt.
No, I think it's just a little walking ass with like 2 legs.
Oh no, it's a full moon.
Give me some death saves in chat, please. Give me some death saves in chat.
What if I find
I'm
a
really
death save
disappointed
on
I
it?
feel like I have to do a death save on
Yeah, yeah.
whether or not.
We have some